Hi, happy day 12 of the 366-day video challenge. I actually did a video earlier today and posted it briefly, but then realized the sound wasn't right, so I'm redoing it now. Just like life, sometimes you have to redo things even when you don't want to. Anyway, quick lesson today on the 3 things that you must have for a successful attorney-client relationship or a relationship with any professional. The first one is trust. That should be an obvious, but you would be surprised how many people don't think about that. Trust. You need to trust that whoever you hire, you trust what they know what they're talking about, and that you trust that that's somebody who you would want representing you. Whether it's an attorney, whether it's a financial advisor, whether it's a realtor, no matter who it is, whether it's a personal trainer, do you trust they know what they're doing? I use these 3 things in my evaluation of every decision I make for who I'm going to work with. Do you trust them? I also look at clients that work with us and I say, do I trust them? Are they somebody that I would want as a client? Do I trust that we're going to have a good working relationship and that they're going to be honest with me? Second thing is communication. If you don't have good communication, I don't care how much you trust me or I trust you, it's not going to work. Make sure you're working with someone who will communicate with you the way you want. If you're somebody who loves email, and great, you guys can email together. But if you're somebody who's never going to check your email, your attorney or whoever you're working with can send you all the emails in the world, and that's not going to be helpful. You might be somebody who really wants to talk on the phone. Make sure you're working with someone who's going to talk on the phone to you and understands that expectation. Maybe you're somebody who doesn't pick up the phone and doesn't check email, and you have to get a text message. Make sure you're working with somebody who texts. A lot of people don't text. Or maybe you're somebody who, if something's really important, you need to come in and sit down and have an in-person meeting. We talk to our clients and we make sure that we know how they want to be communicated with. Do you prefer email, text, phone call? Sometimes we have to have an in-person meeting. Do you prefer that in most situations or just for big decisions? Make sure that communication is clear. And the other side of that is make sure you're comfortable. I always want to make sure clients are comfortable with us because, if you don't have to like us and want to have a beer or with us or whatever, but if you are not comfortable calling us back or responding to communication and we need to hear from you, your level of comfortability in responding is going to impede your representation. So trust and communication. And then the third one that people don't always think about, but that's super important, is you need to be able to afford it. So affordability. Legal services can be expensive, but it's important to gather your resources and know how you're going to pay for something, because you don't want your representation to become about how much it costs. We always talk to our clients and determine what the expectation is going to be for how they're planning on covering costs. Are they paying for it? Are there community funds that are going to pay for it in a family law case? Is it a situation where we're expecting to try and get fees from the other party? That's not always guaranteed, but sometimes it's a reasonable expectation in certain family law cases. Or is there a friend or family member that's helping out? It's very difficult often in cases when you don't know exactly what's going to happen to estimate how much fees are going to be, but make sure you can afford it. I never want to put clients in a situation where they cannot afford representation because then they're more stressed about that and it's just one more thing they don't need on their plates. Also important too to know that no matter if it's an attorney, if it's like I said, go into the gym, no matter what you do, don't overextend yourself. Don't get into situations that you can't afford. Be very clear about costs. Be clear that things are transparent to you, because if you're in a situation where you can't afford it and you're already stressed, it's only going to be one other thing. Keep in mind too, especially when working with attorneys, that law firms are not financial institutions, so they don't extend credit in most situations. You're going to have other ways to make that happen. So if you trust who you're working with, if you can communicate well and you can afford it, you're going to be successful. If any of those things is missing, you're probably going to have trouble. You could pay me $1 million and you could trust me, but then you could never communicate with me and it would never work. Or you could, communicate with me and text me and call me, meet with me in person, talk to me on the phone, and pay me. And you could not trust me and question everything I say and argue with me all the time, and it would never work. So there's a variety of different ways of looking at it. But in my experience, I evaluate every professional relationship and some of my other relationships, and I say, do I trust this person? Can I communicate with them? And can I afford to be in this relationship? And that can be financially or otherwise. Can I afford the time commitment? Can I make it work? So those are your 3 must-haves when deciding on an attorney-client relationship or other professional relationship. Happy Sunday. In Seattle, it's supposed to snow. It's not snowing here where I am yet. I'm in West Seattle, and it's not snowing here. Hopefully you stay safe tomorrow. I'll talk to you then. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.